idea to do that, because sometimes, like I think our books should be written in times and seasons, right? And so sometimes I feel like, and I can say this about me, I had a book, now y'all don't laugh at me, and I was writing the book and it was coming along, everything was going great. And then I got to this chapter, and in this chapter, I was talking about this one character in this chapter, and the character just started to annoy me with what they were doing, because I knew what the motive was of this particular character. And being the author that I am, I put the book to the side because I was like, I don't want to think about this character right now, what they're doing. And my own book, I put the book to the side. I was writing it with such intention and passion and intensity that I just said I needed a break from that and put it to the side, didn't finish that one. And then that's where the book Don't Give Up came, that I wrote. It was like, it's time for you to write this. So there are times when I feel like I've got multiple books that I'm trying to finish because that other book should have been finished. So if that's not you, you don't want to go through that. Start writing your book, okay? And what's the word I want to say? Use those gifts. Be intentional about it, right? Don't, for instance, another prime example. Here where I am, it is 1:48 in the morning, okay? 1:48. And I told myself that I was going to get this pep talk up. I was going to do it around 12. But I was working on another project, finishing up something. And I said, okay, so I can't go to sleep, right? Because I have to keep my word to myself. I have to be consistent. So if I'm going to do pep talk every 2 days, I'm not sure yet, y'all, but be on the lookout. But if I'm going to do that, then I need to be consistent and get it up, right? It wasn't 12, it's 1:49. Next time, I'm going to try to come on at 10 o'clock. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but still, it's a matter of pouring out that gift. I know that I have been blessed with a gift of encouragement. God has given me a voice that some people say is very calming, right? It's very assuring. Hey, I had to realize that that's a gift, that it's something that, that's a gift. Why not use it? Why not encourage someone? And so we live in a day and age where if you feel that you have a gift to be a motivational speaker, which I am, or by the grace of God, or to write or to speak or to preach, you don't have to be at the point where you say, I'm not going to pour out my gift because I'm waiting for a platform. Platforms will come, but that depends on what type of platform you're looking for. Are you looking to be in the church, like up on the rostrum? Are you looking for that? Are you looking for a stadium? Don't wait. I'm not calling this practice because this is something that I know God has given me the ability to do. What I'm saying is, I know there are many people who say, well, I'm going to wait until someone, gives me the chance to go and speak in their church or to speak whatever it is. And I'm saying there are too many opportunities right on social media. Go ahead. This is Spreaker, right? I use Spreaker as the place for my podcast, right? And so do I have to, this is the free version, then you have a paid version. What I'm saying is, there's no excuse, okay? Don't let it be an excuse that you're looking for a particular place. Go back and pray about that and use it. People go on Facebook Live all the time, and I understand sometimes some people feel intimidated. You may look at other people, look at them. But if you have a message and you have something to do, I'm just saying, what if that woman would have said, what, he's telling me to go tell my sons to do what? I don't even have anything to pour in these vessels. Sometimes we rationalize too much when, and I'm not saying we should be what's the word? Like really like, oh, I'm just gonna, no, we have to pray about it. Seek the face of the Lord, use wisdom, write out the plan, have a vision for it, and then do it. And then sometimes, yes, go before someone that you know is a man, a woman of God, right? Someone who can be trusted, somebody who, I don't know. I want to say has a good track record, but we all make mistakes, but I'm just saying, like, just pray about that and find someone and seek wise counsel, right? Because we don't always have all of the answers. That's why we need to find community. We need to be in community. And so what if she didn't listen to him? Then she and her sons probably would not have made it another day. Or maybe a day. I don't know, about 5, because they were running out of everything that they had, and the creditors were coming as well. And so because she listened, because she sought out a man of God, let's go back. Because she listened, she followed the instructions. Because she was obedient, the blessing followed. And listen, sometimes we're not obedient. Sometimes we are not sure if we're hearing the voice of God. And that's where there are times when you're going to have faith. You're going to have to look at it and say, okay, is this a negative thing? Is this something that's going to bring value to my life? Is this something that's going to take away? If it's, you're saying, well, I don't have, and then you decide you're going to go out and get it by a means that may be harmful or detrimental to you or your family, something that may cause you to go to prison, then you need to think again. And yes, I get it. There are times when it's real tight, right? And it's like, somebody may say, I'm going to go find another way. Not something that's going to bring harm to you or to someone else. We don't want that, right? Let's not do that. And so she followed. What is it that you have to do? What limits, right? There was no limits. Like the oil kept pouring, the oil kept going out. What limits? What limiting beliefs? Sometimes we have limiting beliefs which keep us from taking steps, taking action in the things that we need to do. And so we definitely have to have the right thoughts to do what needs to be done. No limiting beliefs. Oh, some people may say before they even try, that's not going to work out for me because nothing does. Well, no, that's not the way that we should speak, right? Regardless of what happened in the past. I think that's why a lot of times in the Bible, we hear forgetting the former things, right? Forget those former things, because some of the things that happened in our past, if we're not careful, we can put those things up above what God is able to do and not use those situations as a learning tool, as something that shows us that we've got resilience, as something that teaches us about the strength of God, and teaches us something about ourselves. So it can be used for something is what I'm saying, but don't let the past things keep you from believing that things can change and get better as we are obedient and use the gifts that God has given us. How many of us out, have gifts that we know we were supposed to start a business and life got real busy, distraction may have happened, whatever it is, and we find ourselves sometimes struggling in spaces where we don't necessarily need to, but it's where it's at. And so then we've got to push past it, and we've got to, go before God and kind of, Lord, I missed it. I probably should have done that, right? It's okay to be honest with God. It's okay to talk to God like a father. That's why he says, come to me, as a child. Come to me as a little child. Why? Because as grown-ups, we think a whole lot. We try to figure it all out, and all of our rationalizing, like it's too much sometimes. All that thinking, like sometimes just write a plan, like write your plan before God for your business and whatever it is, in your job and all of for your family, a good plan, a God plan, write the vision for it, how you want things to be better for you and your family, and then go after it. Don't spend so much time thinking that you don't move in a direction to get it done. Don't spend so much time talking yourself out of the blessing that could come from you actually taking a step and getting it done. Believe for better. Be thankful for where you are and believe for better. Like they say, do not despise small beginnings, right? Sometimes we look at the small beginnings. Well, I'm not there. I'm not where so-and-so is. I was reading a woman's post, and oh my gosh, she's doing wonderfully with her businesses. Oh my goodness. She's doing great. I mean, she was talking about January, how wonderful she did. And I was saying, oh my gosh, January for some of us maybe it was a struggle. And for some it was great. But just because it was a struggle doesn't mean that February through December is going to be a struggle, right? And if it is a struggle, the one thing that I like to say is that thank God that He's with us even in the struggle, even in the valley, right? Thank God for that. And thank God that there's hope, that there's faith and action, and faith in action. And so pour out those gifts, use them for the glory of God. Do not hold back. Sometimes you've got the very gift that's going to be a blessing to someone and to yourself. Write it out. Find sometimes, that godly person, that godly woman, that godly man, the servant of God, and kind of listen. This is what's going on in my life, and I'm coming to you. Let them know, because I just don't want to try to figure this out by myself. I understand that in the multitude of counsel, there's safety, and I'm coming to you. And when I say a godly person, I'm not talking about getting involved in a whole lot of things that, don't point you in the direction of God. Not getting caught up in some of those other things that are tainted, which instead of being a blessing to you will end up not being a blessing. They'll end up being something else. And so you don't want to do that. Start delving into all kinds of things, dark magic, all these things. Come on now. Must we? No. And I'm talking, to many people who are believers of God mostly. But if you're listening to this podcast and you're not, you can listen in. But I'm definitely speaking when I say this to people who are believers, who get to a place where you feel like you're in lack or things are not going right. And then you believe that you need to go and give God some help, right? And so you turn and you start dealing in stuff and delving into darkness. God doesn't want you to do that. He wants you to trust Him, whoever you are. And if you're not, good, please don't. Because that is temporary, right? It looks like it's going to last. It looks like it's going to be great if I go to this psychic person and all of that. God didn't tell us to do those things. He told us to trust Him and to believe in His word. He told us to have faith, because faith without works is dead. He told us to trust Him. Not to trust other things, not to trust in, back in the days they had horses and chariots, like don't trust in those things, but to trust in God, trust in His word. And when discouragement starts to come, there's a remedy for that. Go to the word of God. Yes, I'm sitting in a chair. Listen to this chair squeaking, right? But it's like, go to the word of God and start to begin to write down faith scriptures, begin to write down just things that are going to help you to move forward, and write the vision. This is what I want you to do too. So for those of you, listen, I know money can be a situation and a problem, but there are times when money does come to us, and we sometimes, for some people, this is not for everyone, but for some people are so used to being in a place of struggle, and a place where it's been difficult, that when some money comes or the blessing comes, you go and you're like, okay, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do that. And then you turn around and you're like, wait a minute, didn't I have like such and such amount of, where'd it go? Well, no, you don't know where it went because perhaps you're not writing down how much you're spending. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to, I just myself even went and bought like just a small little spiral notebook. It was 27 cents at Walmart. And I went and got that. And so each time that I spend, and I invite you to do this,